Let's make our item appear 2D in the inventory and 3D inside of our hand. More in-depth topics for Minecraft modding available in the 121 modding courses linked below, covering writable and tameable entities, custom entity armor, and even custom entity inventories, among many more awesome topics. Alright, we found some back to tell you once more, and in this tutorial we're going to be making our custom item, namely the Spectre staff over here, appear like a 2D item, so with the normal 2D texture, or rather the animated 2D texture in the inventory, while inside of our hand it's going to be a 3D model like we've added last tutorial. And the way to do this is a little bit more complicated than one might think, but absolutely no worries, we're going to be able to get through this. So the first thing that we need to do is we want to change the name of the Spectre staff over here to be _3D. So the Spectre staff should be named Spectre staff _3D, while the 2D one we're actually going to rename again to the normal Spectre staff. It seems like it's a little bit, weird around over here, but believe me, it makes a lot of sense. You will see that in just a second. Well, it is just going to require some mixing because there's just no other way to do it in Fabric. I also want to give a huge shout out to Sirito Hatsuki from the Discord server, from my own Discord server, because they basically came up with this because it did work before, but in previous versions. So in this case, I'm just going to copy over the two files that we're going to need, the two mixin files. As per usual, all of the code is available to you down below, so you can double check it there. We're going to need to mixin, the item renderer mixin, as well as the model loader over here. Now, sometimes it doesn't work over here when it doesn't want to import certain things. That just happens sometimes, but basically we want the Spectre staff, we want tutorial mod over here, obviously, and there we go. For you, it should all be fixed. Otherwise, of course, these small errors over here should be fairly easy to fix. Now you can see that basically the general idea is that we're changing the item renderer over here to say, hey, if we're in the GUI or on the ground or we're fixed, then we want to use the Spectre staff, meaning this model right here. This is what we want to use. And if we're not, then we're going to use the _3D. So if you have an item that you want to be displayed like a 2D item in the inventory, then you just change the name over here. And then here, this is the 3D one, right? That's literally all that there is to it. And that's, kind of all we need to do. Now, when it comes to mixin, as per usual, we always have to add them right here. And those two are added to the client because those two are client mixin. So it's very important that you open the tutorial mod.mixin.json file, and then we're going to add the item renderer mixin over here, and we also need to add the model loader mixin. Make sure that those are written exactly like the name of the file over here, otherwise it's not going to work. And also make sure they are in the mixin folder or the mixin package, I guess. Otherwise it's also not going to work. But with this, we should have everything we need. So let's jump into the game and see if it works. And there we have it. Take a look. If I were to take this in my hand, all of a sudden it is 3D. However, everywhere else it is 2D with the animations. Now, one thing that you might notice is that it is a little bit darker here inside of the inventory than other items. I don't know why that is the case. I have seen the same thing in testing. The same thing did not happen in the testing GitHub repository from Sirito. So I don't know why this is the case. If there's anything there, you can look down below in a pinned comment. I might add a gist or something like that if there's like a tiny change that you need to do in order to, change this as well. And I'm going to have it linked down there. But for the time being, that is basically everything that I wanted. We now have it set up exactly the same way that we have a spyglass, right? So a spyglass obviously has a 2D texture here in the inventory. However, it has a 3D texture when I have it in my hand. And that is now exactly the same thing for our custom Spectre staff. Absolutely freaking fantastic, man. As per usual, all the code is available to you down below, but that's going to be it for this tutorial here. Next time in this video, we'll add custom villager type. Hope to see you there. So, yeah.